I tended to write very good fifth issues. And if you look back at some of my comics, it's true. It's not always true.
Is that true for like your maxi series and mini series, or if you're writing like 100 issues of Batman, is the fifth issue when it peaks and it's all downhill from there?
No, definitely not in Batman. I think Batman 5 is like the big fight between the Justice. The only thing remarkable about Batman 5 is it has the fun moment where Batman is late to the battle, so Alfred puts on the costume and has to fight a superhero by himself. And then as soon as Batman arrives, he's like, "Oh, thank God!" and just runs away. So
that's awesome.
That
segues into probably the question. So I come from the collected edition side of YouTube. So these are people that usually trade weight, and then they go, "Oh, I'm not going to buy the trade because then a deluxe edition or and then an Omni." So I have to ask. I'm
a trade waiter too. These are my people.
Yes. So I loved your Batman run. That was back when I finally had adult money and could go to the comic shop every week and buy single issues. But I know that like something about fans, they think everything's divisive when it's ongoing, and then afterwards they look back on it and go like, "Oh, it was the best thing ever." But I want to know, how does it feel that 2 years in a row your Batman run was the #1 voted thing for most wanted DC collected edition? Out of every book that could have existed, your Batman run is the most wanted omnibus. 2 years in a row.
That is news to me. Wow. How does it feel? It feels absolutely great. I always say it's my relationship with Batman and that character, and I'll never stop writing him, is kind of odd because I've written. It's hard to say what the record is, but I'm up there with people who've written the most Batman issues. I've written over 100 now. And I still don't associate myself with that character. I still don't think of myself as the Batman writer. Whenever someone like I'm at a con and someone brings me like a Batman statue to sign, I was like, "Oh no, Scott Snyder's like two rows over," or Grant Morrison's on the other side. It always surprises me. So the fact that people care, I mean, it means the absolute world to me. Yeah, that's just stunning. Yeah, thanks.
I mean, I think it's really cool. Do creators have any say on what collected edition format their books come out in? Are they able to push for something? Is there any news on an Omni? Because when we saw the solicitation last year for that thickie of Batman by Tom King, Volume 1, I know that people were like, I mean, that's great because that gets new readers, but I know that the deluxes have been out of print for a really long time. So is there any news on any?
Yeah, I loved those deluxes. That was the way to read the run. That was and then I used to. Those are my favorite way to collect.
Wait, I got it. Let me show you. I got Volume 1 of it here,
and it took them. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And if you open it up,
oh hey, there's a Mitch Batman and my terrible signature. Yeah, that's when I used to read. When I came back to comics in 2004. I used to buy all those oversized, especially for Bendis's Ultimate Batman and Kirkman's Invincible. Just had those beautiful, and they stopped doing them as much as they should. They were even great deals. You got 12 comics, like even if it was hardcover and they're a little oversized, it was brilliant. And I loved how they did it. And then they printed it for Batman, and then they stopped after Volume 5. They just didn't release Volume 6 for a year.
Yeah. Volume 6 did eventually come out, but we were waiting. And like they kind of teased us because I feel like they did like a deluxe. I feel like it was like a deluxe of like one of the artist specific ones, and then like I think it was the one with like Elmer Fudd in it, but it took forever to get that last six one. And I still see those fetching crazy high prices.
And they also, and this is the right show to complain about this. Normally, if I complain,
do it. Everyone here wants to know.
They switch paper stock halfway through.
From gloss to matte, right?
From glossy to matte, and I like matte in a comic book. I think it's beautiful, but when I get an oversized hardcover, I want glossy. That's my own sort of impression.
I love gloss, but I've never like been annoyed about a glare on matte. So it's like there's a pro and con to both.
True, yeah,
you know what I mean. But like sometimes like
the colors pop on gloss to me just a little bit more.
Did they do the same thing for Woman of Tomorrow? No, it was matte on both, right? For
Yeah,
the
I think that
deluxe.
was Matt on both. DC went hard to Matt for like 5 years, and now they're finally going back to gloss, which I'm enjoying as a decision.
Do you creators have any say, like oh, I would prefer it to be on gloss, or is it all out of your
No,
hands?
creators have very little. I mean, it's not to say we have zero say. I'm sure. I know there are creators. Uh, I'm not one of them who spend a lot of time talking to sort of collections of how they want this and how they want that. I'm just so, I don't know if you've noticed, but I write a lot.
I
And
don't
that's
think I
what
have. I'm just kidding.
that's what I mostly enjoy about I enjoy creating and I enjoy reading comics. I'm terrible at all the bureaucracy of comics.